Welcome to Inquiry into Self. Have you had the thought, I am too busy or life is too busy? Well, here's how inquiry for me goes. I start by just simply asking, can I know 100% this is true? And I don't actually know. And then I just check and see when I have the belief life is too busy, what happens? And when I have the belief, I feel tense and exhausted by everything I'm doing. It's as though I see the row of things through my day, behind and in front of me, and it all feels very heavy. What if I didn't have that thought? Well, that's interesting. Without that thought, all I'm ever doing is whatever I'm doing right now. If I'm trying to do four things at once, then I'm trying to do four things at once, but it still is this moment, and maybe my brain can hold everything or it can't hold everything. But this moment is this moment. And now I just do the turnarounds. So my life is too hectic. Then I immediately come to I am too hectic. And I see how the way I'm trying to hold everything in my brain, the way I'm trying to plan that it all works out, that it all gets done, is actually what's really the hectic thing. Life, yeah, I may be doing more activities, but the way I'm trying to keep track of it all in my head is really the biggest problem. So that's a bit of relief, noticing that it's my idea of all the outcomes coming out. That's more the problem. In fact, I kind of giggle at myself that, I want to make sure everybody gets their present on time, or I want to make sure that all the food I want to make for each meal gets made, or I want to make sure that my whatever, all these other projects I'm working on, that they happen on a certain timeline, because that's going to make other things work out better, right? It's so interesting, this idea that all these things are going to make my life better. Maybe they won't. Maybe having people appreciate me or having my projects fall together in the order that I want doesn't matter. And when I start to relax about that, it's like, oh, right. Do I really have a reputation? It's just a figment in my mind. Do I really have projects that have any particular timeline? I know timelines don't happen. And does it really matter whether something happens by a particular date? Or does it really matter if I cook all the things I was planning to cook? No, no. And then let's do another turnaround. So, life should be hectic. Oh, this is an interesting one. Life should be hectic. In this one, what I see is that just each next thing that I'm doing, whether it's engaging with somebody or doing something that I'm imagining is for somebody or just taking care of the stuff that I'm doing, as I'm staying active and doing them, there's a certain aliveness that flows in my body that I like. And it actually ultimately ends up forcing me to let go because I really can't get it all to work exactly how I want, and I'm too busy to care anymore. I'm just doing the next thing and doing the next thing and seeing how it turns out. So it's interesting how that controlling part of me finally just gives up sometimes when I'm very busy, and I just let it all fall how it's going to fall. That's a really great letting go. So life should be so busy. And another turnaround is life is not too busy. How is life actually not too busy? Well, it's kind of like when you walk into a room, you can see all the stuff. But in reality, in a room, there's pretty much always more space than there is stuff. Because when you look up to the ceiling, when you look wall to wall, there's air. And, there's pretty much always more space than there is things. It's just the focus on the things that makes it feel so full. Well, even when I'm busy, there's actually a lot of moments of stillness, especially if I pay attention to them. I may be stopped at a red light. I may be waiting for the water to turn hot at the sink. I may be on hold on the telephone. I may be using my computer and there it goes. It's just spinning. There's so many little pauses all day long. And if I feel the pauses, it turns out that I'm not nearly as busy as I think. So it's wonderful how each of these just makes me feel the lightness, that busyness is just something concocted in my head. And being more diligent in how I use my thoughts, I can actually feel this moment and all the space, and then no need to get anything to happen any particular way. Thank you, my little reflex that said, "Oh, this is too much." Yeah, it was too much, but just because of how I was looking at it.